Hello.
Hi, Jill.
Hi, how are you? Hi, Kim. Hi, Sarah. Who else is on here? Oh gosh, lots of people. Fun.
All Jill, right. Do you have two Sarah friends?
Yes, I have one friend.
Okay. There's a lot of us.
Wonderful. And Kathy, very nice to see you in person. I have everyone on mute. You're on mute right now. You can unmute. Go ahead.
Nice to meet you.
You're on mute.
Nice to meet you too. And Olivia's on as well. Olivia has the cute pink background and flowers.
Mallory.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Angela. How you doing?
Great to see you. So good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it cold in Cincinnati? You're wearing a very furry, fuzzy hat.
Yes, I was just out with the dogs, and it's still cold, so I'm warming back up.
I love it. Everyone, Kathy, do you want to introduce yourself really quickly? Kathy's super wonderful. We worked with her a little while back on a bridal giveaway, and well, I will let her introduce herself and the amazing company that she is with as well.
So I work with Zaxi, which is a fashion and bridal jewelry brand, and we've been able to work with WineSociety, and we're talking about other things. So I wanted to check out the happy hour and spend some time with everyone today.
Awesome, thank you. And if you haven't checked out our site, it's so beautiful. Olivia and I are about to jump on and check out some of their merchandise for something we have coming up for everyone. So check out our site. Is it Zaxi.com, Z-A-X-I-E?
That's correct.
Perfect. So yes, be sure to check it out as well. Shadia, hello.
I can't see her.
I can't either.
Coming up.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Can't see you. Oh, no, not yet. There's Kate.
I am intentionally not letting you see me.
Do you have your scrunchie in again?
Of course.
You've been rocking that scrunchie.
I love it. Kate, how are you?
Good.
But thank you everyone for joining. We do these every Wednesday, and basically I love to start off with a cheers. And today, given the nice, bright, sunny day we have here, I'd love to just cheers to sunny days and getting our fill of vitamin D and to friendly faces. Even though we can't see each other in person, it's still nice to see all your smiling faces. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers. So as we get started, basically, these happy hours are called Sip and Socialize, and it's a virtual happy hour where every week we promise to give you some kind of content that is either educational, entertaining, or around sharing an experience. So we hope you leave today feeling refreshed and positive and excited for your next dinner event. So I'm really excited to start today. Our topic is Table for Two, Please. And it's going to be hosted by our designer, Jill, who is absolutely amazing. She does some incredible work for us, everything with our brand. And she also does a lot of fun, inspirational stuff at home. So she's going to be sharing some fun tips, inspirational ideas for you to set up your dinner table. A little brief intro is that some of us might be falling into kind of a monotonous routine, as Olivia kind of alluded to earlier on our call. It's, week 4, week 5 for some of us, and we might be falling into some mundane routines, and we might just need a little bit of spark. And, whether you're one of those people that tries to keep that going and has that creative mind and is always trying to look for refreshing ideas, like our dear friend Jill, she's here to help you kind of shake that up a bit. And whether it's just you at home, you plus one, or you and a whole family, she's got some really, really great ideas that she's going to show you visually and also talk through that will help to make dinner a memorable experience again. And I promise, doing these tips and doing these kind of things, you probably won't even miss going out again. So without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Jill, who will kind of get us started on our Table for Two, Please. happy hour topic.
Hi. Here, let me adjust this so I can see what I'm doing since I'm going to be performing in reverse here.
And can we just say how amazing Jill's background is?
Yes.
All the wine.
Love it. Miss that wine.
Oh, I know. I wish I could drink it out with you guys. But anyway, like Angela said, I think the biggest struggle we're all having right now is just being utterly bored every day. It's a Groundhog Day. Everything is exactly the same. And I just get tired of every night putting dinner on the table for the kids, and then all of a sudden I'm just waiting for the complaints to roll in. So I'm really craving like going out to a nice restaurant with my husband and like getting dressed up and acting like a human and getting out of the sweatpants. So I was just going to give you guys a few tips of how to try to achieve that at home. And it's pretty simple and you don't have to have a lot of fancy stuff. I have a whole closet full of candelabras. You don't need that for this. So don't worry. I won't be asking you to do anything crazy. But like Angela said, one of my favorite things to do is to host dinner parties, usually for like 16 people. So I love coming up with like tablescape ideas and things like that. I'll show you guys some in a little bit. I'll share my screen. But anyway, this kind of applies for currently having to stay at home, but honestly, you can do it all year long, especially if you have kids. It's really cheap to not get a babysitter and do in-house date nights. It's a fun thing to do. But so I have a couple tips for you guys. I am not a teacher or an event planner by trade, so just bear with me here. But my first tip for any kind of dinner at home is to generate buzz. And it sounds really stupid, but like we have nothing to look forward to right now. All our trips have been canceled. All the events are canceled. So if you can create something for your husband or your children or something to look forward to, that is to create excitement and anticipation of the dinner. So what I typically do is like, it can be super simple, like text my husband like, hey, we're having a special dinner tonight, 9 o'clock, meet me in the dining room. You can wear sweats, or, you know, look a little nicer, like kind of give them a key of what you're supposed to be wearing and when, and kind of get them excited about the food that you're either making or getting takeout for. This also works with the kids in terms of like, we're watching Star Wars right now with them, and so I sent them a little invitation to come to movie night, and I put little tickets for them to cut out and tickets for popcorn, and they like thought that was so fun. They talked about it for 2 days. It took like 1 minute to do though, you know? So anyway, so that's my first tip. Super simple, really only takes a minute. My second tip is cloth over paper. So I want you guys to repeat after me. Do not use takeout napkins on your fancy dinner table.
No takeout napkins.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to do a little laundry for this one, but like the cloth napkin goes a long way to make it feel more like you're a restaurant. So you can get like really simple ones. Everyone should have them, honestly. I think Shadia can attest to this. It really helps to have the cloth napkins for a nice dinner. And so I usually just buy them online. You can get them dirt cheap anywhere, or you can get really colorful ones. Like for the themed events I've done, I have tons of colors from tableclothsfactory.com. But you don't need anything fancy. If you have napkin rings, that's great. You don't need to be an origami folder to master the cloth napkin. Like literally, I should have ironed these for you guys, but if you just take it, look how wrinkly that is, it's ridiculous. I like to do the big triangle, the little triangle, fold it one more time, literally slip the ring on top, and you've got a cute little thing. It doesn't have to be crisp and pressed. Should be a little less wrinkly than what mine is though. Or if you don't have napkin rings, you can tie like ribbon or twine or anything just around a rolled up napkin. Honestly, nothing complicated at all. My next one is going to talk about layering. This is what's going to take this simple dinner. If you're lucky at the dinner table, you'll get a plate, knife, and a fork, and wine glass if you're having fun. Honestly, a lot of times you're just kind of serving stuff up at the stove, and that's not going to happen. But for this dinner, we're going to take this basic setting and just elevate it a little bit, and you do that by adding layers. So first of all, you can get a simple, this is just like a woven placemat. Nothing fancy at all. I'm going to do like a really casual setting, but still fancy. And then, like you have to do more laundry, you still have to do more dishes in this case as well. We're going to dress it up, add your salad plate, and whoop, a little less loud, hopefully. and your salad fork. And see, it's already looking better. Like this is nothing, but this is a clue to your special someone or whatever you're doing that it's not a normal weeknight meal. So layer that up. And then you're gonna keep going with the layer concept by just adding a water goblet instead of throwing your hydro flask on the table. Add your water goblet. If you're using, it can be any size, just make the visual interest be there. Then this is also going to apply when you get to the center of the table. So you don't have to have like a crazy candelabra or fresh flowers or anything. Grab that little artificial greenery from your bookshelf, put it in the middle, and then, or if you don't have that, so I have some azaleas blooming out front, and these are little bourbon airplane bottles that I turned into little bud vases, and they just kind of make it look nice and elevate the ordinary.
That is so creative.
So creative.
Anything you find out around the house, that is amazing.
So I like to do things in threes, or if you can only have two, that's fine too. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to the simple greenery on this one here. But next tip is candlelight is everything. So I don't care if you have to like dig out the candle your aunt got you at Christmas that's sitting in the bathroom, whatever, grab it. Or you can get tea lights and mason jars at the grocery store. Or if you do own candlesticks, that's great. So I'm gonna use a simple one here. Also, this is a random tip. If you do buy candlesticks, I like to buy the ones that hold a tapered candle but have like a large drip guard or rim, because then it also doubles with like a pillar candle. So it's pretty versatile. If you're only going to have one in your house, that's what I get.
Mind blown. She's so good.
So anyway, so here you go. Nothing fancy, but it's still fancy for at home. Just a little simple tablescape. And then you can make this even dressier if you want to go that way. So if you have a tablecloth, that would be great to add, or a table runner. If you don't have those things, you can take like wide ribbon, which I do on some of my narrow tables anyway because the runner's too wide. So let me just switch this up real quick. Instead of the placemat, we'll go the charger route. You can get some of these like fun wooden chargers, which I love. For this one, I'm gonna do just a like silver one, but okay. So like taking away the woven adds just a little bit of dressiness to it. I need some wine.
Absolutely.
Tip break.
Jill's working hard. We want to all come over for dinner. You need to make that like a 10-person, 20-person table.
I usually do, and I'll have to show you the pictures in a second. I never put my napkin on in the other one, I realized. But anyway, so we're gonna keep dressing this up. Like I said, if you don't have a runner, you can use, so like this is from Christmas. It's just like that mesh wrap. I've used these as runners multiple times. For this one, I'm using just like a burlap ribbon. Just kind of dress this up. And I wanted to show you what makes the difference when you're setting like a fancier table. What makes it different than just a tiny little tablescape? And usually it's more things and it kind of gets complicated like that. But it doesn't have to be a ton more, and it's just a little trick, which I will show you. I can remember where I put all my stuff. I have it like resting everywhere. So I have these little kind of little boxwood things. I don't know what you call them. So normally when you're doing a fancy tablescape, you would have at least one thing that's like multiple of, so you can kind of carry the theme throughout the table. So I'm gonna line those up. And then I'm going to use some other candlesticks. I got these literally at the dollar store, so there's really no excuse. You don't have to spend money for any fancy stuff. And I'm gonna put those on the table. And I'm going to use my other ones for the pillars to kind of add that interest. And then here's where the trick comes in, because if you've ever tried to do this and you start lining stuff down the middle of the table and it looks super contrived and you're kind of confused, you're like staring at it like, why does this look so weird? It's because you can't line everything up in a row on a table. It literally looks like little ducks going down the street. It looks ridiculous. There's nothing interesting about it. So once you've made somewhat of a balanced arrangement, you want to like stagger everything. So say if it's going down a center line, you take one candle this way, one candle that way. And then the same thing over here, where you just kind of zigzag it across the straight line. And then when you're looking down the table, it looks so much cleaner. And that's always my biggest tip for when you're setting like a huge table. But I think that's it, guys. I mean, this is still pretty simple in terms of it's not like an invitation dinner party, but it's like at home with your husband. This would look like a nice place to sit down and have a meal.
That is amazing.
So good.
That looks so fantastic.
So pretty.
So I wanted to share with you guys a few of my things, just so you don't think I'm a random person who doesn't ever set a table. Let me see if I can screen share here. Hold on. Tell me if it comes up. Is it up?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Literally, she created that. It's
Magazine
gorgeous.
style. Look at that. It's magazine.
What? That's yours?
Yeah, that's at her backyard.
Yeah, so I have this annual white party that I call Serrata Bianca, and it's girls in the back with wine pairings. This is on my deck. So there's, let's see, that was 2 years ago, I think. Oh, shoot. Here. This is last year's. It was kind of more like Moroccan. This is one of my Christmas parties. See me lighting candles as everyone's coming. This was a rosé brunch that I had. And this was another one of the white parties. I think that's all I have pulled up right now. But anyway, so if you see down the center line, you can see how staggered the items are as it's going back and forth. And that's the trick, is you can't have it all lined up perfectly. So anyway, so there you go, guys.
Can we hire you for a party? Right? I'm gonna fly you to LA and hire you to do a party.
You can't afford me.
It's true. We pay you in wine. We pay you in wine and bourbon.
That was a huge table.
So, go ahead, Ange.
I just said that's a huge table.
Oh, yeah. So I have a couple big tables, like I can seat 16 at my indoor table. And then, although it's actually in 2 parts so that I can kind of move it around for different events. And then my outdoor table, I add one more onto it for the seating. I think there's usually 14 or 15 people at that one. But yeah.
So where do you store all this stuff?
Don't ask my husband, because he'll be very angry. It's literally everywhere. Like you open the front coat closet and there are like trays on the side. Or like,
oh, okay.
So I'm actually organizing right now. We're redoing our shelves in the garage to move all the Christmas stuff out there so I can store all of my candelabras in one spot, because I have like tons of gold ones and silver ones and antique ones. Or, oh, I should have put my Game of Thrones party up here. That was funny. But there's a lot of themed colored items, and every year I end up changing it. And so you'll see, actually, maybe I'll go back to this photo. So this, when I was talking about if you have candlesticks or not, like you don't have to spend a lot of money to do any of these things. Let me try to share my screen again. For this one, oh, hold on guys, I'm having wine and technology mixing here. Okay, is it back up? The original picture I showed?
Yeah.
So if you'll see all of those candlesticks, those are literally from the thrift store, and I just spray painted them all white. So it was just kind of fun to create like a unified feel. I think I spent $10 on stuff at the thrift store. So
Amazing. Yes, a great, amazing dinner does not have to be expensive. And how, we'll open it up for questions too. How long did that take you to set up, Jill?
that took a while. You know what takes a long time though is like polishing the glasses and silverware beforehand. So I usually lure friends into coming over, like say, I'm gonna feed you, will you help me set up? And then I just make them shine stuff and like iron napkins and stuff like that. It's a nice trick.
Crazy. Do you cook too after that?
Yeah, I mean, I have most of it prepped, but yes, I start usually like a week or two before and like freeze certain things, and then it's all laid out. I usually hire a server though to help me serve and then do dishes. But.
Awesome. Does anyone else have questions for Jill?
I
Questions, comments?
I have one, and I'm not sure the answer. It's probably, I don't even know if it's a good question. So I find that I have color discipline problems. I want to be more restrained, and I've noticed your style is very, I guess, elegant minimalist.
Mhm.
And so instead of attacking it with all different looks, I want it to be cohesive and basic and kind of color simplistic, not yellows and oranges and reds. I want it to look classy and sophisticated. What would be your advice for exercising color and style discipline?
I would say if you're going to use color, to make sure that it's not everything that color. You know what I mean? So like I had a rosé brunch, and I used like a pink, and I also used kind of like a mint green, but then I had gold accents. But I chose one color to be the star, which was the pink, to go with the rosé brunch. So you got to have one color that's the star. The other ones kind of fall to the side. As long as everything is kind of, it's like it can be eclectic. It doesn't have to be matchy-matchy. Like if you'll see some of those photos, I have like a really ornate candlestick next to like a geometrical weird candle holder, but they're both gold. So it's like they're tied in through their color, even though their styles completely don't match at all. I mean, it's hard to say, is there a specific formula?
No.
There is, but like I said, just focusing mostly on one color and then letting like some other tertiary colors be not as quite the
Right, in future, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just going to call you the next time. So it's fine.
Yeah, please do.
So do you usually have a theme? Like, can you have barbecue with a white elegant table? I mean, is it
I mean, so do you mean my theme for the food or a theme
the
for the
food? Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine serving barbecue with that white elegant.
No, I definitely don't serve barbecue for that. But no, I mean, yes and no. I mean, you could still make a barbecue or a crab boil or any of those things like fun if you just minimize it. Like my sister lives in Maryland, so I've helped her set up like a Maryland crab boil before, and it was fun. We used like red baskets with the liners and a blue kind of nautical tablecloth, and it still had colors and it looked formal, like for everyone to sit down, but really everyone's getting messy with crab claws and shells everywhere. But so it's like, you know, your decor needs to match whatever you're eating. You're not going to put SpaghettiOs in a really pretty bowl, but maybe you do. I mean, who cares? If you want to eat fancy, but kind of be
Rules.
yeah. But no, those meals, I usually plan out the menu, and everyone brings a wine that I've kind of assigned to them to bring that matches it. So that one's like obviously very formal, and that's not the way I eat normally at home.
I have a question for everyone in general. So today we kind of looked to Jill for some inspiration, and I think she gave us a lot of great ideas. I think for me, I love the idea of just like writing a handwritten card or something and inviting like my husband to dinner. It's just us two. Like, I think that is so just cute and romantic, and like it helps to not get in that phase of like, all right, let's just sit at the stove and like dump stuff into a bowl and then bring it to the table. But what do you guys look for? What do you look to, or who do you look to for inspiration? Whether it be
Jill
or people.
Jill.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead. So I know a couple 2 weeks ago, right? We were talking about what we do, and I live with my cousin, so we made our grandma's Sunday sauce. Did something. It took her all day. We started at lunch like on Wednesday. Basically cooked it for the 6 hours, and Jill mentioned she uses some antiques, and so we've got a few of my grandmother's antiques, some of her old cookware, her old serviceware, things like that. So if we're gonna have like a nice meal, we'll use her serviceware, which is kind of cool. So just a nice tribute to grandma.
I love that. Oh,
Yeah.
all of our hearts are like, oh.
Wow. He has a way to a woman's heart, doesn't he?
Yeah, right.
That's right.
My friend Kim that's on here, she has a really cool collection of china. Was that your grandma's, Kim? Or whose was that? Oh, shoot, you're on mute. Can you unmute?
Yep. Yeah, that was my, I think, great grandmother's, but I never ever use it, and I should.
Breaking it, but
I really should. I am scared of breaking it. It's so fragile. It's so thin. But you're inspiring me, Jill.
Oh.
I'll get some pink flowers, and I have a lot of antiques, so
Yeah, you do.
I need to use them.
Yeah, you really should. I mean, obviously maybe hold back a few things if you only have like one piece of it, but if you have a lot,
Yeah.
you're using it.
I have little teacups I need to use.
Oh, so cute. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you guys look forward to for inspiration? Are you guys more online searchers for, inspirational ideas, or is there a certain influencer or blogger that you guys typically go to?
For me, I hate Pinterest. No offense to anyone who works for Pinterest. I absolutely hate it. I don't understand it. Like, it doesn't, I want to click and like go and see more, and it never ever works. So I do not use Pinterest. I revolt against it. I'm doing like image searches or a lot of magazine stuff too. Anybody else?
Are we talking specifically about what inspires us for meals and food?
Any kind of design, like whether you want to redesign your bedroom, or whether you want to, do a recipe, whatever you look to for inspiration.
I agree with Jill on Pinterest. It's too overwhelming.
Yeah. I like Emily Henderson on Instagram. Jill, do you follow her? It's like
Me too, though.
EM_Henderson. I can't even remember. But I feel like Instagram is so nice for like just searching hashtags. It's like easier.
Oh, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's also can be less overwhelming. You can go down the Pinterest rabbit hole and find yourself on the back end of it like an hour later. So I understand that requires discipline. I have an extensive Pinterest collection. I do it. But the Instagram piece, when you do the hashtag search, and you can just, I think that's a great topic or a great source and launchpad for inspiration as well. And I also think attending, like, I think locally when we would do events here back in the day, I always got information from attending some local events and seeing how people were creating, maybe from an event planning standpoint, just like tablescapes and atmospherics and whatnot, and seeing how I could apply that to my life or bring that back in. But in terms of like interior inspiration, redecorating, I would love to hear anybody's insights on some great resources right now that are low cost and budget friendly, because I'm looking to redo my stays.
I don't know how like low cost budget friendly she is. She's definitely, though, I guess like she doesn't use brands that I've never heard of or anything, but her name is Sivan. Her name's Sivan Ayla. So I'm on my iPhone, so I'm not sure how to type it out on here, but it's SIVANAYLA. And yes. Yep, exactly.
SIVAN.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Do you follow her too?
Now I am.
Does anybody else follow her?
No.
Okay, so yeah, she's on Instagram. She just did this whole like unboxing of stuff she got for the quarantine the other day, and I already ordered a few things from Amazon.
Wow.
That she got. But yeah, I mean, she also has like, so she started off obviously just like being an influencer, and now though she has like her own self tanning line and her own athletic wear. I guess it's athleisure and bikinis as well. But I really like, she does cooking stuff, she does workouts, she does she's like a whole lifestyle blogger, and she lives in the Valley, so she lives in California.
Yeah.
So, and she has I don't know if anybody on here has little babies, but she has like a 1-year-old, 1.5-year-old, so she posts like baby stuff too. So I know that there's people like that really like to follow that. I do not have a baby, but her baby is really cute. Her baby is super cute. But yeah, she's very just kind of, I mean, she obviously does ads and stuff like that because that's, her job, but I think that she posts a lot of stuff that's relatable.
Mm-hmm.
So
she's authentic about it sounds like.
Yeah, and she's very like, I mean, a lot of you in here have been to my house. Like, she's very more of that like neutral kind of clean, almost rustic aesthetic, and I really like that. So
read.
That's my contribution.
Awesome. We're definitely going to look her up. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
I know we're at time. We can, I'm free to chat for another like 5 to 10 minutes. I'd love to hear some more ideas. So if anyone does need to drop off, thank you so much for joining. Cheers to staying safe, healthy, and happy. And I think we had a lot of great takeaways. And Jill, thank you so much. But again, I'm totally down to stay on because I have a couple more questions. But if anyone does need to leave, then thank you so much for joining. And we hope to see you next week.
Thanks, guys. I got ahead. But...
Bye, Erin. Thank you for joining.
Bye.
Amber, how are you? I'm going to pull you in really quick.
Back on here.
Hi. So great to see you. We're talking about inspiration, and I'm curious, who do you look towards, or what do you look for inspiration? And do you feel that you need a little inspiration during this time of quarantine?
Yes, of course. I mean, for sure, just, you know, especially with like inspirational quotes and things like that, but also like getting into different like hobbies and everything that like maybe you've put off for a while. So it's just like generally inspiration in your life. I don't know, what are you guys inspiration? What has everyone else said? What's the takeaways?
Yeah, Pinterest is overwhelming. We've got that. We tend to pin and then it just lives in our little folder, and you know, it's like running through a stream of craziness. So that one doesn't tend to be too great unless you're immediately going to it. And then just events and stuff that you've been to. Jamie mentioned that, you know, she just looks for inspiration when she's out at other amazing events and tries to take those ideas home.
Historically speaking.
Yeah, well, Jamie's really good at throwing events too. How many people were at the Hats Off luncheon that you chaired, Jamie?
I was one of many involved in that, but there were 1,200.
Yes.
So.
Wow.
Jamie knows how to put on a big party.
We love to give good experiences. So I think that's what's inspiring about it, actually. So it's more than just having a source. It's having a good reason to be inspired, which I think is something that I might be struggling with right now because I'm at home and it's just me. And I get inspired sometimes, but I'm not the most inspiring with myself. Like I sometimes need that external inspiration. So I think that trying to find sources of inspiration when you're self-quarantining has been, is a challenge. It really is. So, yeah. But talking mentally about it versus, you know, I know we're talking about aesthetics, but there is an author that I've been reading for a long time. His name is James Clear, and he is wonderful. And he focuses on habit formation. And kind of it's kind of psychologically structured, but he has a book out called Atomic Habits, and it's very good thinking. And I get a newsletter from him every week that always has this great insightful wisdom that's not over the top, it's not corny, it's not cheesy, it's very rational, and it's very productive. So he'd be a really good resource for someone to check out if you guys are into that kind of stuff.
Awesome. Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. Yeah, I think it's just lovely I mean, everyone has their own go-tos, and we get inspiration for so many different things. And I think a few that I had in the mix were, I follow this girl. I actually met her at an event out here in California, and it's Sugar and Charm. Sugar and Charm. I don't know her Insta handle, but Instagram. I think it's just that. And she does the same. She does so many great like tablescapes and just cute little crafts and things like that. But she's really just beautiful design, and I just love like watching and what she does. And even though I haven't done anything of it myself, like it just helps with your creative mind, and you kind of like just put yourself in her shoes, and you're like, oh, I wish I was at that table.
Called Sugar and Charm.
Yes. Yes. Are you guys finding it?
Yeah, I found it.
Okay, cool. And then the other thing, I think similar to Jamie, I feel that, yeah, like when I'm at a cool restaurant, like there's a Restoration Hardware restaurant here in Napa. Oh my God, it is so
that's like cream.
Amazing. It's so beautiful. And you just feel like you're in this enchanted, like, I don't know. It's just so gorgeous. So I think the same when I'm out at restaurants, I tend to try to think of things. And even if I don't have anything to do, I'll take a picture and like put it in a little notebook for later.
Just environments beyond events, but environments. Like if I were to clean out my photos, I have 35,000. There's a lot of environments and spaces that I've recorded over the years that just hopefully will provide a source. But Restoration Hardware Restaurant is, that's the Mecca.
There's one in, where else are they? There's in Chicago and Napa. Where else?
New York, I believe New York has
New York.
one. No, but I think the difference between, so I'm not, for people that know me, I'm not big on like going out to eat. Like it's not my favorite thing because I think it's just, you know, no, it's not, no, because there's not this crazy experience. You go to a restaurant, yeah, I mean, some maybe are a little nicer than others, but when you go to an event, and that's what I did in Cincinnati, was a lot of events with Jamie and all of our friends here, so we know each other. But like, you know, everything's over the top, you know, because it's an event, it's a theme, the tables are set gorgeous, there's the music, there's all the drama, you know. Going out to eat, it's like, okay, yeah, it's a restaurant, unless it's like a jazz thing or something, it's like, okay, you know, there's not like this whole experience. I've been to Jill's dinner parties, that is like an event, it's an experience. And I think for me, that's the hardest part of this, is like missing the event, you know, because it's more than just the food and the wine, it's like the experience and the people and the music and, you know, all of that as well too. So I think the tablescapes are always overdone. As we all know, we've been to a charity event or a gala, they definitely do more of, you know, that, like being at Jamie's with your hats off luncheon. You know, it's just different than just a restaurant where it's nice, so it's not going to be, I think, as over the top as an event. So
Yeah.
No, it's so true. It's the experience.
I'm not sure at Jill's house, then it's the same.
Right. Hi, Carrie. Thanks for joining. Oh, you're on mute. Hey. Oh, you're still on mute.
I think every Zoom meeting we all do this. We're like, what? We're like looking.
It automatically mutes you when you join.
No, we were eating dinner. My stepson made dinner tonight, so
Nice.
I had.
Awesome. Well, no, we're glad you joined. We want to ask you some questions too. So this is Carrie. She's like a lifelong friend. She knew my husband when he was just a little one. So we're so excited to have her join as well. Jill shared some amazing ideas of how to create, you know, either a simple place setting all the way to making it almost feel like you're, you know, at a amazing restaurant, and just easy, simple ways to do it. But we're curious, what do you do, especially with the, you know, a family of, having a family to entertain? How are your dinners and how do you make them entertaining and exciting?
Really all I do is I stick it all in the middle and then I bring the plates down and everybody gets forward near their plate and everybody makes their own milk and we just that way.
Family style.
We're just so busy, so we just throw it down. So I don't really usually make any special event out of it.
Jill, will you share your first tip with Carrie really quick? I thought that was so cute. And I think it would be great for like the kiddos and the husband. And I think it's just amazing.
Yeah, so Carrie, I was giving just kind of like 5 tips, and the first one was generate buzz. And it was like send an invitation to your husband or your kids for what you're doing, whether it's like maybe a special dinner or like a family movie night. Like we're watching Star Wars right now, and I sent like some little tickets and like what time to meet for the movie, and we had popcorn and bags, and just, you know, trying to make it a little bit different because every day looks the same right now. It's like we're doing the exact same thing every day. So just trying to give the kids something to look forward to, or my husband like, hey, I'm making steak. Be there at 9 o'clock. And he cooks too. I don't mean to make it like you have to take care of everybody. But just to make it a little more exciting. But.
Awesome, thanks.
So fun.
Thanks for on mute. That's on here. Sarah, where do you get your inspiration for your crafts for the kids? You're always doing something.
Oh, geez. Well, I don't belong here because I like Pinterest.
It's okay.
We just don't understand it.
If I don't find it on Pinterest, I don't know where to find it. So usually it's things that have been collecting on my Pinterest page for years that I just go back to and say, oh, this will be fun to do.
Yeah, that's fun.
Most of the time. That's kind of where I usually end up, is kids crafts more than decorations and fancy meals.
That's important too, though. I mean, just any way to entertain at home. It's, yeah, and to have little ones that are always looking for something to do.
Definitely.
Carrie, you're good at making food into animals and stuff. Whether it's a cake or do you got a picture on your phone of the clown you made out of vegetables?
I might.
Every party, she's shortchanging herself. Every party, whatever. I mean, she brings this like tray of vegetables and it's a clown's face. It's amazing.
You know, when people also make like the football stadium with like for Super Bowl Sunday and they do all that. Yeah.
That would be
for that. I guess we have time now for that.
I haven't mastered that one yet. All right, we're gonna make a dirt cake next week with the worms and stuff, and then
that is perfect for the little guys.
Yes, they will love it.
Yeah.
Jill, do you mind putting your count of 1 to 5 tips? Like I saw you generate buzz, but do you mind like just
Oh yeah, let me grab them from my notes here.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Those are some really great tips.
Oh no. I'm really excited. I can't wait to find a date and have him over and I don't know about make dinner, but I'll serve it and set the table for him. I'm really tired. I just have to find him.
Hey, you
Bumble. Hashtag where is he?
Hashtag dating online.
That's from Sex and the City. I'm exhausted.
What?
Yeah, she does stuff like that all the time.
That was a little scary for children.
That's insane.
Yeah, that was
the other one.
That was how.
Okay, that is like a nightmare. I do not like.
I think it was Halloween, wasn't it, Carrie?
What'd you say?
Wasn't it Halloween you did that for?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a scary event. I mean,
that is a really cute idea for Halloween. That's pretty
awesome.
impressive.
Yeah.
I'm looking for
That's
my
so cool.
And that's all on Pinterest. Like I get all that on Pinterest.
When you guys do Pinterest, do you usually are you searching for something immediately in that moment, or do you just scroll and like save and like, oh, I'll make that someday?
It depends. I go back and forth. A lot of stuff is stuff that I've found through the years and just kind of collect. But if I know I'm looking for something specific, then yeah, I'll search it like right then and just pull it up and watch it.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Same. I think it's most productive when you're like in the moment. And then
Right.
I tend to now I've like subcategorized everything out. I'm like, oh, my recipes turned into vegetarian and then chicken and then breakfast. And now it's like soups and salads. And now I have to split my soups and salads because I have so many recipes saved.
Yeah, I need to do that because I have the opposite. I just have everything lumped into recipes and it takes me like forever to sort through it all.
Wow.
I need to be more organized with it.
Yes, bite the bullet and just take a Saturday or Sunday with a glass of rosé. You guys, we video this so you can, and we put these on YouTube. So if you do want to go back, you can go back and screenshot, or if you have questions for Jill, like anything, it'll be available on there as well. If you can go back and get some inspiration.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jill.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks, Jill, so much.
So much.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah.
Yay. Well, thanks everyone. Nice to meet you, the new friend.
Sarah. Thanks for joining, Sarah. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Cheers, guys.
Bye, guys. Nice to see everyone.
Take care.
Good night.